So we are at the Manilla motel, and when we were dropped here last night by Dan, who rescued us from the side of a river and then proceeded to reverse through the river, the swollen river crossing, in his ute. Unbelievable, the one that had bogged us. When we arrived at the motel, the door of the motel, luckily, it did not say this. It said vacancy. We then took the last room, Linton and I, and the guy came and actually swapped the sign around to say no vacancy. This is the actual motel itself. Just a type of motel I like, one where you can drive right up to the door, although we don't have a car. First Sunday in August, the weekend that we should be arriving at Uncle Billy's for our second trip to Uncle Billy's. I say our because I've got Linton, my eldest, with me. So why am I walking around looking for a coffee in Manilla? Well, the reason is that I pushed the beamer perhaps one step too far last night in my urgency to get to Uralla, where I had booked a room, and I was desperate to take my son to the New England brewery for some beers. And getting to Tamworth after we'd caught up with the Richardsons and with the Cutmores and with the Yules at the racing, getting to Tamworth was no problem at all. And then I started to see road signals suggesting that roads were getting closed off, but Google was still showing a route, multiple routes to get to Uralla. So we first tried a road towards Nundle, and then we got to a river that was absolutely flooded. And then I sort of thought to myself, well, I've been to Glen Innes before. The road to Glen Innes and then back down was definitely open. It would have taken 4 hours, but at least we would have got to Uralla. And on the way there, a road from Manilla through showed us being open. So we took that road, got to one swollen river, met a farmer at that swollen river, and he said, well, actually, there's another road, the Glen Barrow Road, which has got bridges. You should be fine to get through that. And actually the bridges were fine, but there was just this one sort of crossing where the guy in front of me who I was following, he went through in his ute towing his caravan, no problem at all. And then I got there, and just for whatever reason, it was just too much for the beamer, and it conked out midstream. And luckily there was someone there who was able to tow us out. And the car was all locked down. I couldn't even work out how to get it into neutral. I took the parking brake off, but it was in park. I had no idea how to get it into neutral, so I'm pretty sure he just dragged us out. And then the fun began, because I would have thought you'd phone NRMA roadside assistance, but this is actually not a job for roadside assistance because it involves water. So what they said is, well, you need to phone your insurance company, which for me is GIO. And I just wanted to try and do that all that night. So while at the Manilla pub, I was just searching for phone numbers to try and get through to somebody. And eventually I did manage to get through to GIO. My roadside assistance is not with GIO. As I said, it's with NRMA. But eventually I managed to get through to the right person. So I got through to GIO roadside assistance, and they put me through to GIO insurance. And long story short, I had to file an insurance claim. I had to pay. I mean, the car we might go there, it might start, or it might not, but it might just start. But I've already paid my excess, so 1,300 for the regular excess plus 2,000 for the voluntary excess. I've paid the 3,300, and there's a flatbed truck coming down from Moree today that will pick up the car and take us through to Tamworth. And then as soon as the Tamworth Avis or Hertz open up today, I'm going to try and book a hire car, which that's my own cost, because I didn't take the hire car insurance component in my insurance package. So I'll have to hire a car, and then hopefully then we can continue our trip up to Uncle Billy's and drop the car back next Saturday in Sydney. So, what an adventure. And perfect timing, because I've just arrived at a coffee shop that I see is open. So, Molly Mays, right in the high street. Just opening up for coffee now. Happy days. Well, I've got to say, there is not much happening in Manilla today. That looks nice. Royce Cottage information. That's the high street. Well, life is good. I've got 2 coffees. One for the sleeping teenager. No, he's not a teenager. He's 22. One for the sleeping kid at home, long black. Flat white with 1 sugar for me. You know, I can't help but reflect on how uninformed I am or have been about, no, it's not so much uninformed, it's how sometimes I just don't think through the consequences of my actions fully. And I think back to the 3 or 4 times that I've crossed the Swampy Plains River in that beamer, and you know, not so much if it went right, because of course it always has gone right, but if it goes wrong, to be in an area where you've got no mobile phone reception and a car that once the electronics says I'm not moving, it doesn't move. I mean, pretty well, like all the electrics were there, but the car was on a hard stop saying you need to get me back to a BMW service center. Yeah. Sometimes I may be a little bit too gung-ho. Luckily Barb's doesn't watch these videos, so she won't get to hear me say that. She won't get to hear me admit that. And to think I literally paid the car off last month in July, and it's now first weekend in August. This is our room at the Manilla Motel. Now, it is a state, I'm going to warn you. Normally my rooms are kept very, very tidy, so I don't lose anything, but this one is a state. So, that is a collection of our dry stuff. And I'm pretty sure that if I look down in the bottom of that bag, I can find our tow bolt from the Beamer, which required us to empty the whole boot of the car while we were in thigh deep water. This is where I slept, over here, and I had to sleep here because what I've realized is my CPAP machine, this is the nature of the plug, and I couldn't fit it into any of the plug points where the bed originally was. But regardless, there's the CPAP machine. Very comfortable bathroom, excellent pressure with the shower head, and a nice little simple sink over here. And we'll just do a very quick toilet brush clean-on test. Well, I can already see it's absolutely spotless. Good job, guys. So that's where my bed should be, but as I said, those little plug points, I couldn't fit the plug into it. And here is all our tut, and that's where Linton slept. Very comfortable room, no complaints. I'm always looking for better adventures to have with my sons, and this appears to be one of them. And you know, when things go wrong, I think those are the type of events you don't easily forget. Any particular low points last night?
No, not really. It was all above board.
It was underwater but above board.
Yeah.
So Linton, I suppose we can honestly say this is where it all started to go wrong, was this turn onto Glenbarrow Road.
Yeah.
There's a Beamer, just over there. So, would it be fair to say that one thing missing from the vehicle was a snorkel?
Very true, very true. We have water in the airbox, which is a no-no. But if you have a snorkel, that prevents that problem.
The trusty Beamer. Linton, I would say we reached its limits last night, hey?
I agree.
Yeah. No, that can't be good. Oh no. During the daylight, it looks so benign, but that was the water crossing that did us in. I suppose that shows how high the water went. You can really get a real sense there for how high the water went. So at its highest, it's gone 2 rungs from the top of that barbed wire fence. So that'd be a solid, I'm going to go with a meter. It could be 80 centimeters. Hey Linty, pretty sad start, hey?
Yeah. It's done some good adventures.
Yeah, it'll just be the end of it.
Yeah.
I know. Clear evidence there. I might have gone too quickly through the water, but who's to know? So now I see that bracket there and the bracket on the other side, they're both gone. I've just ordered a new bracket for $400. All my Lord Gadget adventures, they've all happened in this car.
Yeah, I know.
Just a few of the first ones were in your Pathfinder.
Yeah.
But all the big stuff, all the big trips has happened in this one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely giving it a run for its money.
Yeah, exactly. Good value. Man, oh man. Such a sad end.
Yeah.
Well, they don't mess around, they just attach these hooks onto the front of the vehicle.
When you approach a water crossing, you always make sure how deep it is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's under that.
No.
So at speed in like the BMW, you want to be going through it at crawling pace. Unless you have a snorkel where the water's not going to, like a bow, it's not going to come over the top of your bonnet, go down in the airbox, completely ruin everything.
So in terms of this new Prado, you were mentioning that you think that I should upgrade the suspension and the bull bar and the snorkel. Is that sort of where your thoughts are? Is that what you would recommend, especially for someone like me that tows a caravan?
Travelling around Australia, our conditions aren't the greatest. It's a lot of wear and tear on your car, but if you are towing a caravan or doing a lot of dirt roads, country roads, highly recommend you upgrade your suspension, snorkel for river crossings, steel bull bars, not alloy bull bars. There's a lot of kangaroos out there, there's cows out there, there's a lot of things you can hit. If you ain't got a bull bar when you're travelling on country roads, your car will be written off.
Yeah.
I've seen it personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But get it done professionally.
Yeah.
Don't go the cheap way out. You've got a $100,000 motor car, you don't want to go and put a $100 part on it.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We're hearing it from source. That flooded paddocks over there.
I helped Steve get all his cars out at 6 last night at midnight.
Yeah.
So we've stuffed a little Apple AirTag underneath there. Not sure if we're going to be seeing that again, Linton. Well, you've been the best car I've ever owned, and I'm not sure I'll ever have one quite as good as you. You know, I never gave it a name.
You ever have that feeling where you're not sure if you're awake or still dreaming?
All the time.
Looks like we might be getting the MUX, the Isuzu. That'll be nice. Always wanted to drive an Isuzu.
Yeah.
So, let's just talk about what's just happened here. So the Avis, it opened spot on time at 3:30 on a Sunday.
15 minutes early on a Sunday.
Oh, okay, great. Have you ever been so relieved to see a shop open in your life?
No, this is up there.
This is right up there.
Yeah.
Right up there. Who are you lovely people who have opened up the Avis?
I'm Dakota, and that's
Dakota.
my fiance, Carter.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm so relieved to see you too here. That's great. That's great. What? So we've got the Isuzu with
Yeah, you've got the white MUX.
perfect. But you say getting to Armadale is going to be a trouble
Yeah.
tonight, eh?
We can go the long way.
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is-
The long way.
just add some time.
Add some time. Okay. So we do a shop here,
Yeah,
then go the long way.
yeah,
Cool. Sounds good.
you'll make it.
We'll make it. Here's our vehicle. For all the potholes. For the ruse.
Thank you. See ya.
Linty, take two.
Take two.
Take two.
Let's try to get to Armadale.
Let's just try to get to Armadale.
Yeah.
It's the queue for dinner. It looks good. It's our first meal of the day, first food of the day, other than a biltong. This is a lamb backstrap. It's very good. All right, so I can see stars. That's really, really positive.
Yeah.
So this brewery, the New England brewery, is going to have to wait for our next trip. Sorry about that, but this is where we were meant to have been last night.
Yeah. Yeah, nice building.
The New England brewery.
Not
But-
open on a Sunday.
Yeah, closed on a Sunday. So we've just spoken to a policeman at the pub, and he has said that the road to Gyra is open, but we need to take it very, very easy. So we will. The road's slippery. We're going to get going.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, we made it.
Quite an adventure.
Quite an adventure. Cheers.
Cheers.
Just the cost of one BMW
To the Beamer.
to the Beamer. So we're at the retreat at Uncle Billy's, and I'm getting a new message, restricted. It's the first time I've ever seen that. And that's because I had forgotten to reactivate my subscription, which I paused when I left Uncle Billy's last time. So crucially, it's trying to do a software update. So I'm going to let it do that software update and then see if I can activate my subscription when I don't have an active subscription and I've got no cell phone reception.